Welcome back, everyone, to the latest episode of the Kayfabe Talk podcast. I am here with my co-hosts Owen and Thomas, and we are going to be talking about the most recent episode of Smackdown. And it's going to be a special one because we were there live, and it was Thomas' first WWE show. So we're going to get right into it. So, Thomas, what did you think of your first WWE live performance?
Oh my goodness, man. Like words can't even really describe how awesome it was. I've been watching it, the past month or so with you guys on TV, and not that the television broadcast doesn't do a good job or anything, but it just doesn't do it justice compared to being in person. So with that being my first time, it was awesome seeing Cody Rhodes, his entrance, coming out. He came out two or three times with that. You had fireworks going off, it was loud. The crowd was into it, and it wasn't a sellout, but I didn't really see that many empty seats. So good for Columbia for showing up for WWE. Obviously we're a big college town. Sports are big here, especially the Gamecocks, with us being students. But a lot of people there. It was awesome seeing all the superstars and just like how close we were. We had great seats, a great view of the ring, and the matches were just every match was just 10 out of 10. Like I know we'll get into it, so I don't want to say too much here, but seeing the Motor City Guns win their tag team debut was electric. And then, like I said, Cody Rhodes, his entrance, and watching him wrestle as well in the dark match that happened afterwards. I gotta say, that was pretty. That's probably the highlight of the night for me was that Cody Rhodes dark match versus Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, he Solo had him on the ropes. He was beating him up for most of the round, and I kept making a comment. I was like, "Oh, they got to make Solo look good since he's the tribal chief. Obviously, Roman's the true tribal chief, but he had Cody on the ropes, and then Cody was able to get the underhook and then power slam him onto the table and go straight into the pin for the win. And then giving his undisputed belt away to a fan that had a sign that said, "Adrenaline in my soul, beat cancer to see Cody Rhodes." That was pretty special. So, what a guy and what a night.
Yeah. I will say this about the show. That was probably one of the loudest crowds in wrestling I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Of course, the one that slightly is over is the Chicago crowd, but it's a Chicago crowd. It's a bigger arena. So,
Yeah, that was definitely the most packed I've seen Colonial Life at a wrestling event. That was the most packed. And
Yeah, they said there was around 10,000 there. I saw on a post that Colonial Life made on Instagram. They said that was the record for a WWE
nice.
at Colonial Life. So
that was
great to
the
see that.
record.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, that was incredibly packed. And I did see a lot of comments saying that the crowd was kind of boring. But like Thomas said, the TV does not do it justice. That place was
Yeah.
loud.
Also, like
That place was loud.
we were also getting tired, and there was some stuff that was spoiled, like just like the Motor City Machine Guns showing up was a spoiled thing, and not a lot of people know who they are. So of course the crowd was going to be dead for them.
To see them make their debut was just awesome, though. And our section was pretty lively. Everybody in our section
Hmm.
started chanting Motor City.
Hmm.
To see them, and another thing I was talking about how no disrespect to the TV broadcast, but it's just different being in person, especially with that being my first time.
Hmm.
Was up close and personal. You can see just how much skill and how much athleticism it takes to make these moves and not injure yourself. Like there was a point in that Motor City match where, yeah, excuse me, where he had the guy like up on his shoulders, and then his teammate, tag team teammate, jumped off the rope and hit the guy off his shoulders without hitting him.
I think that was the first match, but I know what you mean about how much
Yeah.
skill it took. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
but like I will say this, I literally my voice like shot a little bit right when Jey Uso's music hit.
Yeah.
Like my voice, I felt it like crack, and I went, "Oh, this is gonna be a long, long night." Because like I mean, it was something we all predicted, but seeing having that happen that early, I don't think anyone really expected. So I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, him coming out and talking to Solo, and obviously, he saw. Uh, obviously, we can't see backstage, but they showed on the cam Roman talking to them backstage as well, having that conversation.
Hmm.
And you mentioned like losing your voice and stuff. I kind of lost mine a little bit too, whether I was shouting yeet when Jey Uso was out there or OTC for Roman whenever he was out there or booing Solo.
Or Cody's
Yeah,
entrance. I
Cody's
shot my
yes,
voice doing
singing
that.
along to his entrance. Like between those four things just alone, is pretty epic. And I told you guys the only and this kind of went away after I saw that dark match. The dark match kind of made up for it. Not that the other matches weren't great either, but seeing Cody Rhodes wrestle in person was just a whole nother experience. I told you guys,
The-
like, I'm a big Logan Paul fan, but I think my second favorite as of this moment after seeing him wrestle in person is definitely Cody Rhodes. Got one of his t-shirts. They had special ones at Clinic Life that said the Colombian Nightmare on them. So my dad got me one of those, thankful. And then I got a Randy Orton one, which sadly, he was only there backstage. We didn't get to see him
yeah.
hit the
Yeah.
RKO, which I said previously was, the number one thing I was looking for. But the only things that I was really disappointed in was that Tiffany Stratton was not there with Nia Jax, sadly. And the only other thing was that LA Knight was only there for a promo. And he did say yeah, and we said
Yeah,
yeah on
you
Twitter.
yeah,
Yeah.
you did
But
get to shout yeah with an entire stadium
yeah,
filled with
I was
fans.
ready, man. I was waiting. I was like, when's he gonna come out and he's gonna do the thing? We all get to say yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Yeah.
that kind of went away after I saw the dark match. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a 10 out of 10 experience.
Hmm.
Definitely got to go again sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever they're back in town, absolutely. But I don't know when that's gonna
Or
be.
close by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe go to Raw in Greenville. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be. We've never been to a Raw. That's on our bucket list with our dad as well. Go to a Raw.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. I didn't like the person like 2 rows behind us just constantly yelling. But that's to be
They were pretty
expected.
cool though. At the end of the night, they let me
Yeah, they
pose with
should.
the two
That
belts.
is true, they
I
did.
didn't see
So they
that.
kind of
I
made
had
up
no
for
clue
that.
you did that until they told me in the car. I had no
Yeah.
clue.
Like, so after the dark match was over, Cody, he thanked everybody for coming and, was saying, obviously they probably do this with every city, but he's like, oh, Columbia, thank you so much for showing up. And he said, make some noise if it was your first time. Raise your hand and make some noise if it's your first time at a WWE event or a Smackdown. And so I raised
Hmm.
my hand, and then my dad went to take a picture of me, but then that guy noticed and he had two of the WWE belts. So he let me take a picture with them because he said he saw it was my first time. So that was really nice of him. And just a
Yeah.
cool in general. I got to get one of them things, man. Like,
Those things
I
are
know they're
expensive.
expensive,
There.
but
I mean, you want to go ahead.
All right, let's get into the results and what we thought of the matches and so on. Let me pull it up. Okay. So we started off with the Solo Sikoa and Jey Uso sort of face to face. My favorite part was probably when Jey Uso kind of threatened Jacob Fatu. That the arena kind of blew from that one.
That was a cool moment. I mean, obviously, my favorite part of the segment was when Jay came out because I didn't think it'd be the opening segment. I had a feeling he'd show up, just not
Yeah.
the opening. I thought it'd be the last segment with Roman and Solo.
Yeah, I had a friend who was there, and apparently they were like 6 seats away from Jey Uso when he was walking down the
yeah, we saw him. He was
stairs.
over to our right when
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
walking down.
Well, I know my dad and I noticed that the camera people were walking up that way, like a couple minutes before the show, or like as Solo was coming out or something like that. And so we knew something was going to happen. Like we had a feeling Jay was there, but I mean, for all we know, they were getting interior shots of this. arena being like, "We're here, Columbia, blah 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 blah." So I mean, it was still a cool surprise. I loved it.
Yeah, for him to walk down to the crowd like that, everybody else they came out from backstage, but he walked down through the crowd, so that was had to have been pretty awesome for the people who were, on those rows right next to those stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very special. My main problem with the most recent WWE shows is that it's just a lot of commercials.
Yeah,
So it'll be like a segment and then just sitting there waiting like 10 minutes.
That's how they make their money, though, man. Like,
Yeah, I know it's how they make their
being a
money, but again,
college football and NFL fan, like they cut to commercials literally any chance they get because it's the revenue. It's what drives the business.
mhm. It was a lot more ads than I thought, but yeah, it was. I mean, it's how they made their money.
The ones they
mhm.
played for WrestleMania, though, like on the big screen, I saw, like, oh my goodness, like
It made me
talk about
want to
a hype
rewatch
video.
it.
I know they were showing like it from last year in Philadelphia. Obviously, it's going to be in Las Vegas
Mhm.
this coming year, but that was pretty awesome for them to have Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill with him being from Philadelphia, then seeing the highlights of Logan Paul and The Rock and John Cena and everybody, like I was telling my dad, I definitely gotta tune in this coming year. I can't miss it, man. It just looked awesome.
Yeah, it made me want to rewatch that WrestleMania. I didn't, but it just the video package and just seeing it all again really made me want to do it.
Yeah, their editors and social media teams do a great job with that stuff for sure. Like it gave me chills seeing that. Like that was before it, yeah, obviously, any of the matches even started.
Yeah, and it brought back memories of me, Ethan and I jumping around in my dorm room at the end of the show when everyone started coming out. It was just surprise after surprise after surprise.
All right. So the first match was the triple the triple tag team ladder match. It was Pretty Deadly versus DIY versus the Street Profits. That was a really good match.
Yeah, it wasn't a ladder match, but it was a good match.
That's a ladder match, my bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was my favorite match of the night.
Oh,
My
really?
only
That was your favorite one?
I think so, yeah. I
my
I
mean,
mean,
only
Street
for
Profits
me,
went off,
For
so
me, like I said, like obviously the Cody Dark match is probably my favorite, but just all of them in general, they were just all so spectacular. Like I said, seeing like their athleticism and just all the skills they have to, do make those moves while at the same time avoiding, bodily harm and injury is just incredible. Especially like all the twists and turns they do, like sliding under the ropes, jumping off the ropes, like in midair, just all this crazy stuff they do. It's just insane. Even more so to see in person.
mhm.
Yeah, my only problem with the match was the double pinfall ending, and then having it announced next week that it's gonna be DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns instead
As
of
Tri
like, hmm?
as Triple H says, referee's decision is final.
I know it's just
How it is.
don't. I mean, unless the Street Profits cost DIY the match,
They probably will.
then I'll forgive it. But other than that, I would have booked like a match between the two next week to see who actually would move on.
I
But
feel like they
yeah,
just want to, reward Motor City Guns. They're the next up and coming superstars, also making their debut there. So they want to slide them into that primetime spot again next week and capitalize.
yeah, I did find it interesting that they didn't like go to NXT because usually that's where new hires would go. Every now and then you'll get new people going straight to the main roster, but usually if it's a tag team, they go to NXT. So, then we got Piper Niven versus Last Legend.
It was okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it didn't feel necessary for the match to happen, but
yeah.
it served its purpose.
I mean, it was cool that she was able to lift Piper Niven, but hmm, other than that, it was nothing too special about it.
Thoughts, Thomas?
I was just gonna say what what Ethan was saying. That seeing them. pick each other up a couple times was pretty interesting. And then, you had their respective teammates in the corner, Chelsea Green, dressed in high heels. Thought that was an interesting choice, but obviously she didn't wrestle. Whenever she came
Yeah.
Yeah.
out, I was a little confused. I was like, what's going on here? But she didn't even wrestle. She was just, in Piper's corner, being her teammate. And, we watch the matches. Usually, they're doing tag teams with her and Chelsea Green. But this one solo, she was able to get the win in that one. Nothing too exciting in that one, but still fun watch.
Yeah. I liked how Bianca and Jade were near the commentary team in the crowd. I don't think I had seen that before, like in attendance, so it was cool. I didn't
The th
notice them, so
the
I
thing
don't know
that
how
was
they got
sad
there.
about the commentary was that Michael Cole was not there.
Yeah, I
Like
found
like
out he's on vacation for like 10 days in
uh
Mexico.
okay, well deserved.
Yeah, it's definitely
But
well
I was
deserved.
hoping, man, like he was on
Yeah.
Raw last week, so
Yeah.
Apparently, he'd only missed two shows before then, so this was the
yeah.
third show he missed. And of course, it was when
Okay.
we went.
In his like 20-year career doing this or something.
Yeah,
I
it's
I
been a
mean,
long
hey, he's
time.
been working hard.
Yeah, he deserves it,
He deserves
but he
it.
couldn't have waited a week.
I
I
guess
mean,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
I'm
how the
fine
schedule
with
lined
Wade
up.
Barrett.
yeah, Wade Barrett's cool.
Okay, then we got A-Town Down Under versus Los Garzas versus Motor City Machine Guns. I thought that match was good. It just felt a
Hmm.
little slow.
Yeah, it felt very slow in the beginning, but I mean, I liked it. I don't understand why the crowd. I mean, yeah, the crowd was like, "Woohoo!" I think they under. A lot of them were newer fans, so they didn't really understand Motor City Machine Guns, how prevalent they've been in the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
So that's why they were quiet. But I mean, I thought it was cool. It was a good match. I mean, I feel like it had a lot of potential, and I feel like it didn't live up to personally.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it was the Motor City Machine Guns first match. We got to see what more they can do. So, there's still room to grow.
Hmm.
But overall, they did a pretty good job. I won't lie. Like, like, I'm not gonna like say, oh, they were horrible. Like, they did a good job. They made a
Yeah,
great first impression.
I would agree with you there. By no means was it like the most entertaining match of the night,
Hmm.
but it was still cool, to see a triple tag team and with one of those teams it being their debut and then for them to win in their debut was impressive, I think. And you
Hmm.
already mentioned, they're going to be back next Friday as well. I think they've earned that spot. And Ethan, you mentioned, them not going to NXT. I just think that shows like how talented they are and can continue to be if they just continue to get better and better and get more exciting matches like the ones that they have coming up this week.
Yeah, because I mean, they were at New Japan, which is known for being like they have some of the best superstars on the planet. So I mean, of course, yeah. Then we got Nia Jax and Candice LeRae versus Naomi and Bailey. Wasn't a bad match.
No, I kind of what I see. I think it's going to where Nia Jax is going to end up trusting Candice LeRae more and more each week, leading to Tiffy turning on Nia and cashing
I
in.
was I was gonna
That's where
say
I think it's going.
yeah, I was
Obviously,
gonna
we have to
say
wait and see.
Nia Jax now blames Tiffy and hates Tiffy a little more for leaving her because of sniffles.
Yeah, like I say,
Probably.
she called in sick
Yeah.
backstage. That's what, like, whenever I heard that, I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, we had to
But it
console
was still a good
Thomas.
match, though. Naomi's clearly become a fan favorite. Everybody in our section just around, like, whenever she made her entrance, everybody was cheering her on, and she was clearly who the crowd wanted to win in that
Yeah.
match.
I had never seen her like use that gimmick live, and so when like the lights came on, it was very cool. It was a cool little light show. I hadn't really been behind the gimmick since she started a couple years ago, like almost a decade ago with that gimmick. But I mean, it's grown on me.
Yeah. Like I said, overall the match wasn't bad.
It served its
Um,
purpose in the Nia Tiffy
yeah,
story.
I'm glad Candice LeRae had more than just like was more than just like a throw-in partner that was just going to be like one move
I genuinely thought
type
that's
thing.
what was going to happen.
Yeah, so I am glad that she was utilized a lot more than what I thought, but I kind of wish Nia lost, but it's whatever.
They gotta keep making her win, man. She's gonna go against
I know,
Morgan at
but it
Crown
wasn't for
Jewel.
Yeah,
a title.
They're building up for Crown Jewel.
Oh yeah, we also have the Cody Rhodes segment about Crown Jewel. That
it
was
was
all right. I
fine.
mean, I'm still
I
not behind
was
the title,
I
so I
was
mean,
hoping Gunther would show up.
I was hoping Gunther would show up as well. That would have been awesome if they had
I
seen
thought
Gunther.
his work on the mic was pretty stellar though. Where he was saying
Hmm.
like the reason he wants to win the belt for his daughter and everything, like that was
Mhm.
pretty cool. Just like the way he delivered it. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mentioned earlier how awesome it was just seeing his entrance with all the fireworks and the music and everything. Like he came out there, wearing the business suit, looking pretty sharp, had the undisputed title on his shoulder. And I made a comment to you guys, that crown jewel belt looks pretty nice, if I say so myself. A lot of bling on that one.
yeah.
Mhm. That was the first time we
Uh,
had seen Cody's entrance. I remember when we went last year, we were disappointed he didn't show up because we really wanted to do the woe part
yeah,
Yeah,
of
it
his
was
entrance.
drafted to
that
Raw
was
like a
awesome.
month
So
before,
yeah, so we were disappointed. So when we got to do it this time, we were ready.
and then of course we got the last segment with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa.
It's a great segment. I
Yeah,
just wish nothing against the crowd or at least the people in our section. I could not hear them on the mic because the people around us, at least, were very loud. I couldn't hear what they were saying.
I thought that was the best mic moment of the night.
Hmm.
So they're face to face. And Solo goes, acknowledge me as tribal chief, or else. And Roman just yells at him and goes, or else what? And the crowd lost their mind.
mm,
They start
yeah.
chanting OTC for original tribal chief. I was like, oh my goodness, like talk about a mic drop moment. And the way he delivered it too, with like how much emotion and like the pitch in his voice and loudness. Like it was just an incredible like all-time Mike moment to see in person. I was like, dang, he means business now. So to see
Hmm.
them go back and forth, it just goes to show not that Solo's bad on the mic by any means, but just how
Solo has
good
definitely
Roman Reigns
improved
is.
since
Yeah, Solo has
Yeah.
improved.
like
But there's no beating Roman Reigns when it comes to that. Like he was just incredible. That was like I said, that was definitely the best Mike moment of the night for sure. Is whenever he said, or else what?
yeah. Then we got the dark match of New Day and Sami Zayn versus Pete Dunne and Judgment Day, aka Carlito and Finn Balor.
Worst match of the night. Worst match. Finn
It
got
it was
robbed.
it was cool for Thomas to experience a Sami Zayn entrance. I will say that. I mean, he wasn't paying attention to the match, but you can't go wrong with a Sami Zayn entrance. So,
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, no, the Sami Zayn entrance. I forgot Thomas had never experienced that.
I didn't experience anything, man, before Friday night.
I
So
don't know. But I
just
mean, like you had
taking
never
in
even like
everything.
yeah, but you had never even really seen Sami Zayn's entrance. So
No, I had not. I'd heard of the Judgment Day just because of like what they've done with
and Rhea Ripley,
Dom and Liv and Rhea Ripley on Raw, but I'd
yeah.
never actually like watch any of the matches or anything. So to see them was cool too. Because I know you guys are telling me that for a dark match, like it can be anybody. Like it could be somebody from SmackDown, it could be somebody from
Hmm.
Raw. So the second they came out, I was like, wait a minute, those guys are on Raw.
yeah,
All six of them were on Raw.
I turned to Owen and I went, "This is the closest we're ever going to get seeing a Raw show."
Hey man, like I said, we gotta go to the Greenville show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I'll
Charlotte.
make the trip. It's not that far. What'd you say or what?
Or Charlotte. Like go there.
I don't know what
Where
that
do
is.
they have that at? Is that at the
I think the Hornets arena.
yeah, probably the Hornets?
I think so.
That'd be
Hmm.
pretty cool. Have to
And
look
then
up
of course,
the dates for those for sure.
yep. And then of course, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa in a Columbia street fight. That was a
Wish it
good
was,
match.
yeah, I
I
wish it was
wish it,
more of a street fight than
yeah, than just
normal.
kendo sticks, a chair, and a table. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still more than anybody else
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
in
I was
the
about to say
previous
it is a dark
matches.
match, so who really
Yeah, it's a
cares?
dark match, but that wasn't a real street fight,
Yeah.
WWE wise.
Yeah, but hey, at least Cody brought out the table. You knew it immediately as soon as he like looked over to like
Hmm.
what's it called, the ringside. The fans just lost their minds because they knew he was going to grab the table.
It
I
was a
just,
great comeback too. Solo was beating him pretty bad with those kendo sticks. And I was like,
Hmm.
man, they're really gonna have him beat Cody. But he was able to pull it out, and so I was hyped about that. Not that, I like hate Solo Sikoa or anything, but he's a
but
fake
we hate him.
celebrity. Cody is the American Nightmare undisputed champ, and after seeing his walkout, I was like, "There's no way I want this guy to lose. I don't care who he's going against." Like, so for him to pull that out and get the win, for it to be with the table too, like I said, like at the beginning of the show, uh, to be on the ropes and then go from the power slam into the table straight into the pin, like that's a pretty two like 1-2 move right there. And
And we got to see
great way
the
to end the
Cody
night.
Cutter, which is the one
Yeah,
where
we
he
saw
rips
the
off the
Cody
arm.
cutter. We just didn't see a crossroads. I really wish we got to see that.
I need to familiarize myself with all the names of the moves because like I see them and I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. But like I other than like if there's a select few that I actually like know the name of, so that's something I do need to work on for sure.
I mean, you're still new to this. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
it'll come with
It
time.
takes time. Overall, the show was not bad. It's definitely one of the better ones I've seen. But
Yeah, I can see
again,
why Bleacher Report gave it a C, but I wouldn't give it a C. I'd give it
I'd say
like
like a
a
B
B.
minus or a
Yeah,
B.
B. I'd give it a B.
Yeah. Thomas,
Yeah,
what about you?
I'd probably say B plus. Um, Obviously it was my first time. Said that multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting old now, but it was just really awesome. And I think what could have bumped it up to an A or an A plus, or even from a C to like a B for Bleacher Report is kind of what I mentioned. Like no Randy Orton wrestling wise, anyways. Obviously, like they were
Hmm.
no Randy Orton whenever he was supposed to continue the beef with KO Kevin Owens, and he called his shot. He said he wants Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel. That was a cool segment, but would have liked to see him wrestle, hit the
Or at
RKO.
least come out and say it.
Exactly. Like do
Yeah.
something, man. Like and then LA Knight, like he was on the mic and he was on camera backstage for like not even 2 full minutes, probably. Like he was really short. And
It was
obviously,
actually like 30 seconds. I saw
yeah,
it earlier and I was
yeah,
like,
like
oh, that was a lot
obviously
shorter
he
than I
did the
remember.
yeah and everything, and that was cool, but it just doesn't hit the same as seeing him walk out and do it live.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I just think with those two not wrestling, it kind of just bumped it down like just a tad bit for me because I was hoping to see those guys wrestle, but like I
Yeah,
said, the Cody match basically made up for every disappointment I had.
good. That's good. At least it made up and wasn't more of a disappointment.
And seeing Jay Uso, come out and everybody going crazy, yeeting and throwing their hands up and down. That was pretty cool as well.
I'll have to show you the video when we see each other again because it was crazy.
Well, I think that about does it for this episode of Kayfabe Talks. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you guys hopefully next week.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. Peace.